Hey, sorry about that. It looks like we're having some type of technical difficulties here with Facebook live stream at the moment.
That's right. Take two here.
Yeah, exactly.
On the Ixalan program stream for you guys.
So, for those of you who don't know, I'm Daquan. I'm the trade marketing manager here at Wizards of the Coast. And
I'm Nelson Brown. You're a WPN community manager.
Fantastic. So, today we want to actually cover the literal pile of treasure that we have for you for Ixalan.
Quite literal, in fact.
Marketing and promotional materials. I'm looking around because we literally have a pile of notes and we have piles of stuff around us. So
you guys probably know the feeling. It's everywhere.
Yeah, the big deal is this is to give you a pile of things to carry you through the whole season, right? So you have players of all skill levels coming to see you throughout all, I guess, a little over 3 months that we have Ixalan available.
Yeah, and we're kind of carrying forward that torch on that emphasis on the full season of play and that player path from event to event here.
Yeah, so the first thing is you definitely want to get people to see Magic, check it out, and come ask you about it. Mm-hmm. So we have this really awesome display box that we're sending you guys. So I don't know if you can see. There you go. It shows up on camera there.
Yeah, shadows.
Yeah, exactly. So this is really cool. Something our team worked really hard on, getting you something really special. It looks very much like a movie poster. So this one's got two of the factions here. We've got the vampires and the dinosaurs. The other two are in the other one. So you will get two of these. What we're recommending, though, is to put these somewhere where people will see them and create that extra excitement, whether it's in your window. Maybe you have some other products that are possibly themed to dinosaurs or vampires. You want to sit them next to that stuff. Or even up front, just in front of your store where people can see it. Not in your game space.
Yeah, we see that a lot. And obviously, it is tempting when you have something really cool from Magic to say, hey, we're going to put this in the place where players play Magic. But really, the intention is to draw attention from folks near the front of the store, maybe even just passersby, and get them asking about the new release here.
Yeah, for sure. Now, as the season goes on, we get to the back end and you get your next stuff for rivals and you want to replace some things, great. Then move the stuff on. But especially for the brand new stuff, you want to increase your opportunity and your chances to be able to sell the new set. That's what you're spending all the money on. That's what you want people to come buy. Okay. So definitely put that up front and get people aware of it is what you really want to do with that. But in addition to that, we also have a poster. So maybe this is something you decorate your space with. Yeah, it shows all four of the factions. Very cool. Some very bright artwork. Like, this is really fun. So, yeah, this is another decorator piece you have for your store. And it's a little heavier material, too, so it should hold up pretty well.
That's right. And as you can see from both of these items, with Ixalan, the excitement really is in the setting. It's in these great new factions that players, so that's really where we're putting on the focus for the key art here.
Yeah, we're also going to have our typical event poster. It's going to have the list of all the events that come up with some sweet Vraska piratey artwork. Yeah, so this is definitely something you could put up. This is something that probably works best in your play space. You know, your players that already know about Magic and already play, you know, kind of give you a reminder and your dates so they know what's happening and when it's going on. Obviously, you can fill in your own spots there. And along with that, we have another small piece.
Yeah, more of an evergreen item here. This is a shelf talker, and you'll see that the way that it works is you can actually just insert that into the shelf so that the Magic logo hangs down there. Great for keeping right near the most recent Magic releases.
Awesome. So we covered all that stuff.
All right, so there's the very many display materials. And by the way, a lot of stores have received those. They are still showing up for some. So if you haven't seen it just yet, worry not. We're not at the end of the period where you might get those.
Yeah, the other thing we want to point out, too, is because of the size and the way things shipped, you'll probably, some of you have already gotten some of them. The others will show up usually within a day or two. They were sent out roughly the same time, but they're just in some different packaging because of the size of some of these items.
Exactly. All right, but hey, let's dive right into it. So we've got the first program, of course, of the season here, Magic Open House. Going to run very similar to the last couple. Of course, the big difference is we do have kind of a new version of a promo here.
Yeah, so you'll still get your 5 welcome, or actually you get a box of welcome that says 20. You'll get a couple of each of those, and it's for every player to get one, all your new players anyway. So you have something to hand them, and they can walk out the door with it after learning how to play Magic.
Yep. And just like before, we've got the match cards. So when you do have your event following the tutorials for new players here, you'll be able to provide that so they can self-govern those wins and losses.
Yeah, and speaking of tutorials, I know some people struggle a little bit with the best things to kind of highlight and what to show because you don't necessarily want to do a full 40-minute demo of Magic of a full game necessarily.
A bit much.
But, you know, something that's top level that covers the core basics and maybe takes like 5 to 10 minutes. That's really kind of where you want to be. Yeah. So we do have stuff on our WPN page for that. So you want to go to wpn.wizards.com/tutorial. And that's where you can find that at.
Yeah. And one other key thing to keep in mind here is you do want to introduce folks not only to Magic, but the social experience. And as a part of participating in DCI events, they'll, of course, need to sign up for an account. So make sure you're ready to either direct folks to go to their mobile device to sign up, or if you've got a station where they can do it in store, more power to you on that.
Yeah, the other thing, too, is don't just let these players walk away. When you get them in here, they're brand new players. So get them introduced to your store and kind of your schedule of events, and maybe have flyers available or your event calendar, or even be able to direct them to your Facebook page or your website. You want them to come back after coming in. Don't just give them the deck and then have them walk out and going, okay, now what do I do?
That's right. Yeah. Introducing the game is one thing, but getting them to want to come back to another event is really the success of this program.
And one of the things you can direct them to is pre-release. So pre-release is something we do with every set, obviously. Nothing's going to really change greatly for this. However, we do have a cool little thing that's going to be coming separately. It won't be in your kit. This is going to come in a separate mailing. So you're looking at this and saying, hey, that looks like a treasure token. And it does. But the cool thing is it has some neat things on the backside, which we're also going to do something for this afterwards we're going to tell you about. But this is actually to give to your players, and it directs them to a URL. And the important thing is that if they play in a pre-release in your store, and then they go and sign up at this URL, they will have prioritized seating in our beta rounds for Magic the Gathering Arena.
Yeah. We want to give a first shot to our actual paper Magic players to test that out. And hey, if you're looking for more details, we are actually going to have a lot of information coming out on that on the Twitch Magic channel just after this live stream, actually.
Cool. So we get them in. They've come to open house. They've come to pre-release. Maybe they want to check out something a little bit deeper, and they already play some Magic. What do we have for them?
Well, we've got the next option we'd have would be draft weekend, which of course is the release itself. By the way, for open house and pre-release, always a great time to plug league as well.
Definitely.
That's one where you can get new players and advanced players, both having something valuable for them there.
Yeah, we do have a really sweet promo for draft weekend. It's, there you go, our Bishop of Rebirth. So yeah, this is a participation card for everybody who comes in, plays drafts in your store. The biggest thing is keep it going. Don't have people waiting around too long. You can fire as many drafts as you can pull off that weekend, and that's fantastic. So, the other thing we talk a lot about too is people are worried because what if I don't get 8 people?
Yeah. Oh, no. Well, not the end of the world. Of course, 8 is ideal to get those clean tournament pairings. But if you've got 6 or 7 and they're ready to go, no need to wait. Fire it off. You can get another sign-up sheet going immediately after that.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Don't let people walk away that want to spend money with you and play Magic. That's just crazy talk, right? If you only have 6, great. Send them down, let them draft, and find a way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
We do have a question.
Sure. What do we got?
From Sandra. Is the info in this video okay to share with our player base? For example, the URL code to Arena.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you can share it. I mean, the reality is those will be showing up in your hand shortly anyway. They may or may not talk about it on the stream, but it won't really do much for them at the moment. I mean, until we've gotten past Ixalan pre-release, it'll just be them signing up for a thing and waiting.
But yeah, I mean, short answer is anything that we're talking about here is public, and it is things you can share with your players if you'd like. All right.
Cool. So then after we do that, we kind of need to have something a little more relaxed that people can get into. So we're going to have them play in their leagues.
That's right. Yeah, starting the Monday after draft weekend, well, depending on the day you choose for this, will be the onset of the Ixalan League. Running pretty similar to the last, but we do have something pretty cool for players who participate in 10 matches.
Yes, we do actually now have a promo card for League. So let's see you get a look at that there. Yeah, it's a really sweet card. I'm actually probably going to be hunting down a couple of these myself.
Yep, should be a good one.
But yeah, so one of the things we heard problems with is we get some players in for week 1 or 2, but they're not coming back for weeks 3 and 4. So one of the things we figured is, well, let's incentivize them to play a few more games. So now when they come and they've reported their 10th match played, you give them one of these nifty cards.
Yeah, so it should draw a few more players in for that one. We will have the league boxes as well. Quick note on those, though. We're going to be using the same league boxes for Rivals of Ixalan, so make sure players are holding on to these at the end of the league season there.
Yeah, that's a big note. I mean, we won't have them available for the league for Rivals, so you definitely want to reuse those.
Yeah. And, of course, we do have these match slips as well. So players will be governing their own wins and losses, just like the past couple of leagues. Running this is pretty much as simple as having players come in and report who won the match afterwards.
Yeah. And we do have something a little different for F&M. F&M's our weekly promotion that we've had come in, and this is cool because now you're talking about all these programs between League, F&M, and then a second ring cover standard showdown to get people to come back to your store weekly, right? The idea is to we talk about creating habits. You have to do something 3 or 4 times before it becomes a regular thing. But once you get them there, now you're part of their activity schedule. You're part of their events. And more importantly, you become part of their spending budget. So you definitely want to get something consistent and get them coming in week after week. And that's what these programs are for. Yeah. But anyway, these cool double-sided promos we have for F&M. Yeah, so on one side, they're going to have the Dino, the Vampire, and the Pirate. On the back side, they're going to have Treasure. So you'll be able to use the Treasure with a lot of different cards in Ixalan. I'm sure some of you have seen them already.
Pirates,
Yeah, through the preview season. But we have really cool tokens on the back. We've had some very positive feedback from our tokens. We've also had, when we put some out for League, that people were really excited about. As a matter of fact, I've actually had some and taken them to stores, and people are like, oh, my God, where'd you get those?
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
So now everybody will have a chance to get their hands on some.
It's not often where you get kind of the double-sided foil, which I think is kind of cool here. And keep in mind, so we're going to be sending all 3 of these out with the full Ixalan F&M season here. It's up to you which ones you hand out each week. Of course, you want to make sure that you're handing out the amount for your level, but if you want to mix it up each week throughout the month, that's just fine.
Yeah, that is something to be aware of. You're going to get all of them up front. So for all, I think it's 13 weeks, you're going to have everything you need. So be very careful not to just try to give away the farm, in your first 2 weeks, and then you get to the back end of the season and you're out. If you're a core store, you're getting your 4. If you're Advanced Plus, you'll get your 16. Just be aware of that so you're keeping the right amount.
Excellent. All right. And going along with that weekly pattern of events there, we've also got Standard Showdown, of course, coming back. Any day of the week this time, which I know is a big deal for a lot of retailers, allow you to kind of spread that play across the whole week if you've got a lot of store density in your area. Yeah,
this is probably one of the bigger changes that was the most exciting. I know a lot of people said, hey, I already have a bunch of players that come in on a Tuesday, or, this weekend on a Saturday is already our local night for people to do some other event. So would it be cool if I had something on a Wednesday or whatever? So now you get that flexibility. So you can get whatever night you want, get your maximum number of players, give away these cool packs.
Yeah, hopefully it allows you to kind of share the love a little bit with the other stores nearby.
And we did actually change the contents of these packs. So where previously we had just the foil basic lands, we've kind of upped the ante on the basic lands a little bit. So now we have foil Rebecca Glay lands. And the reason that's important is those have only been available in our Commander product previously. So now this will be the only way to get those is inside these packs.
Yeah. And so, just a little bit more special than a regular one. It's going to be outside the illustrations that you're seeing in the normal set.
Do you have a question there?
A couple questions.
Sure.
Sally wants a clarification on the League boxes. They don't get to keep them for Rivals.
So they will get to keep them for Rivals. So for clarification on that, we will not be sending additional League boxes for Rivals of Ixalan. So that is, your League participants will want to hold on to the Ixalan ones so that they have those for that.
And then another question on the F&M promos.
Yeah.
Are those exclusively for F&M?
Yes. Right. These are exclusive for F&M. So you use them to reward your players to come play with you on Fridays. Yeah. Please don't use those for other things.
Yeah. Just like any of the promos, you want to make sure you're using them for their intended use throughout the season there.
Correct.
All right.
Yeah, another thing, too, we actually are no longer going to have game day. That's come up a couple of times. I showed on Facebook earlier where somebody asked, wait, did I miss it? Did I read the schedule?
Yeah. Nope,
no, you didn't forget. It's just not part of the suite of events for Ixalan. The reason being is now we have Store Championship. Yeah. And that's kind of a cool end-of-season kind of wrap-up event. But it's also cool because it allows you to look forward at the next set. So all the related prizes are going to be are going to feature artwork and pieces from Rivals of Ixalan, which is very cool. So it's a way to kind of get your players excited again and reinvigorated toward the back end when things would normally be a little bit slow.
Yeah, and the way you think about it, it's essentially a strict upgrade from the game day pricing. I mean, what we used to have as just the top 8 promos, the foil full art, those are going now to the participation category, and instead for top 8, you're going to get exclusive Ultra Pro deck boxes.
Yeah, and you're still going to have a play mat. So I mean, people like having their trophies, so you'll still have those. We didn't take those away, and the other big thing that we want to share, I think some people already know, but so it's actually being said so everybody knows, you actually get more formats now. This is something that was asked a lot for game day. we decided, you know what, if we're going to change this up, let's just change things up. So now you can do standard, draft, or sealed, which is awesome because I know we have some stores that do a ton of draft, but they maybe didn't do a lot of standard play. So this opens it up to everybody. So now you can really do something that fits your store and your players.
That's right. Yeah, and keep in mind, this is going to be a culmination event. So it's a lot like Standard Showdown. It's competitive play. So you do want it to, just like Standard Showdown, the prizing is going to be going to folks who actually place really well. And, feel free to promote store championship as the season goes on. It's kind of going to be all pointing towards that at the end.
Yeah, and, and I want to say, like, when we talk about, like, pre-release, that's something that's fun, it's light, it's very social. Same thing with League. Like, these are events you want to keep short. So, with, like, pre-release, you only want to do 3 or 4 rounds. Probably even the same thing with Standard Showdown, because if you're doing it on a Tuesday, you're not really going to get started before 6 or 7 o'clock, most likely, giving everybody time to get out of work and out of school. They're not going to want to play till 2 in the morning, right. Cutting to a top 8 or whatever on a weeknight. So definitely keep those short. But when you get to something like the store championship, it's going to be 1 per store. You're going to really get to do it up. You're going to pick the format that's best for your store. This is the one where you can really do a full 5 or 6 rounds if need be. You can cut to the top 8, and you can declare a for real store champion for the season. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, and it's actually one of the times where we recommend, even more than usual for competitive event, cutting to those playoffs so you do get the clean standings for the deck boxes.
Yeah, and if I'm going to win a mat, you might as well say I beat everybody to get it, right?
Yeah. You don't want tiebreakers messing with that. Quick note on that, too. As you probably saw, that has not been scheduled yet. The store championship for Ixalan is going to be scheduled with the rest of the programming for Rivals of Ixalan. A little later in the fall.
Exactly, and that's important for a couple of reasons. So one, so everybody's not looking for it and calling customer support or retail support and freaking out about it. But it's also because that's, like we said earlier, that's going to feature a lot of stuff from Rivals. So we're going to have it all shipped together so we don't mess up anything with the preview season and let any fun secrets or artwork or whatever get out there too soon.
Right, exactly. All right.
And then we have Buy a Box. That's still a thing. You didn't have to sign up for it. We're just going to send it to everybody, which is cool. So we have this very awesome Burning Suns. Can we see it? Yeah, there we go. That looks good there.
You can see the shine. It's great.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's a really cool card. But we've upped the ante a little bit. We're actually going to send you packs to hand out to players that come buy a box from you. So it's basically going to be, they're going to get this no matter what. And then they're also going to get a pack that's basically a combination of 2 Standard Showdown boosters and this. Yeah. So, yes, they will end up with 2 of these ultimately when it's all said and done.
Yeah, 1 in the pack, 1 outside the pack. While supplies last.
Yeah, those are 1 per customer. So can't have one person come in and just get them all from you.
Yeah,
but it's definitely something you want to promote, let people know, especially when you're taking pre-orders. I mean, it's like getting a pile of spare rare. It's like getting like 3 or 4 bonus packs.
Yeah, it does add some good value.
Plus 2 promos.
Right.
And 2 Rebecca Guaylands.
That's right. It's doubled up.
Yeah, there's so much stuff.
It is. But yeah, and also going on this one, you may have noticed you're not signing up for Buy a Box anymore. Essentially, as long as you're signed up for the rest of the programs and our Core Plus in the network, you'll automatically be on the list to receive those.
Yeah, and one of the biggest things we want to reiterate is this is really to carry your players through a full season of events. One of the things you run into is players show up, they're kind of excited at pre-release, they get their cards, all awesome, they come in week 1, they buy some product, and then you don't see them again for the next 2.5, 3 months, right? So we're trying to prevent that, and we want to give you as many opportunities to engage with players of all skill levels, a bunch of different offerings, a bunch of different quality of cards, and we try to theme the cards to the crowds that you're expecting for each of those events.
Right. Yeah, you always want to be rolling that momentum forward, always pointing towards the next event. And as you can see, a lot of these are designed to actually overlap those demographics as well. So that this event is for new players and that this is for advanced, but actually ways to bring them together and hopefully encourage some mentorship between the two.
Yeah, and like we said, be creative with your stuff. When we talk about like open house, some people said, well, how do I get more people in? Well, one, tell your players that already play, they're going to get one of these sweet cards for bringing a friend. And then, everybody who plays also gets one. But, try to promote in different places. One of the things I did when I had my stores, I went out to places that I already had memberships at, like the YMCA and things like that, and just put stuff on the bulletin board.
Sure. Yeah.
Just highlight, hey, free Magic deck, if you come to a Magic open house and learn to play. Like something that simple. Or I know our grocery stores I went to had bulletin boards, or schools, or wherever, so go out and reach those players that aren't necessarily customers now, but maybe they're interested or they fall in the right demographic, that would fit perfectly in your store.
Oh, yeah.
So we have a question from Darren on F&M promo cards. They want to know how long will these last, and are we going to get new F&M promos at the beginning of January? Mid-January.
You will get new F&M promos with the next season. So when you schedule Rivals, you'll schedule all the F&Ms for Rival seasons, which I think starts at the end of January, and then those will carry you through the next 3 months or so. So yeah, these will last you all the way through Ixalan, all the way up until the pre-release for Rivals.
Yeah, and it has been it's more simple if you also see that the promos have the set symbol on them now, so you can see that it is kind of associated with that overall Ixalan season, and that's also with the new promo policy. That's what tells you that the new one has come out and that the old ones are able to be used for in-store play if you've got excess.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons we were kind of pushing. Be aware of your store level. So if you're core, you're going to have 4 per week. If you're advanced, you're going to have 8 per week. If you're advanced,
5, 10, 15.
No, these are in packs of 4.
Oh, they're okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then if you're advanced plus, obviously it's 16.
Okay, excellent. One more quick plug. So we've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes to make Wizards Event Reporter more stable, specifically for big events like pre-release. So we actually do have a critical update that at the very least before the next pre-release, but I'd recommend just do it as soon as you can here. You want to make sure you close down the Wizards Event Reporter, turn it back on and log in. You'll be prompted to do an update. It's a really important one for pre-release stability.
Yeah, so. and honest truth, we've been doing a lot of testing. We've done a lot of stress testing. We've done, actually, a lot of you may not even notice, there's been a lot of back-end improvements we've been doing that obviously didn't crash your stuff.
Good news.
We've also done, I believe it's 3 updates since the last pre-release. So we've been making a lot of changes to really give that clean experience, which so far so good. We haven't heard any complaints or anything. Everything's working great. But we need as many people as possible to get on the latest version. So whenever we're running pre-release, those old versions aren't causing the problems that we found in them.
Yeah. So always important to update Wizards Event Reporter, but especially this time because it's for pre-release stability.
Yeah, definitely. We want as many people to be up and running through the weekend and have as many quality events as possible. So let's definitely get everybody updated if we can.
All right.
Cool.
Any other question?
Do we have any other questions actually?
So one actually, can we get a clarification while we wait for more questions?
Yeah.
On the 16 F&M promos, the 4, 8, 16.
Sure.
Is that packs of 5 or actual just you get 4 F&M promos per week?
They're in packs of 4. So if you're in a core store, you will just have a pack of 4, say, pirates. You will get a pack of 4 vampires will also be there. Yeah, exactly. You'll have this per week, so you'll have a pack of dinosaurs.
Yeah. And of course, they will show up all front, so it's going to be up to you and your TOs to kind of spread them out and make sure you're only giving that designated amount for your store level per week. But yeah, again, you'll be able to choose which ones you use.
And yeah, just so, I guess a peek behind the curtain or, kind of see how the sausage is made a little bit. One of the reasons we did that is, one, there is a cost savings. We send it bulk and it's easy, whatever. But the other big thing really is that we had a lot of people who would miss scheduling windows. They'd sign up, say, for October. You get busy doing Halloween stuff or whatever, planning for that last week. And then come November, you're like, oh, my goodness, I forgot to schedule my F&M. And then that's a really sad time for everybody. So this is one of those things that when you're already in WR, you're already scheduling everything for the season, you just do it all at once. And it saves all of us, a bunch of problems and headaches, and we don't have to be the bearers of bad news.
Yeah. Any other questions? Pretty good.
That's it.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for joining us here, guys. Of course, if you have any follow-up questions, you can leave comments right here on the Facebook page, and we'll be happy to address them as they come.
Yeah, in about 5-6 minutes, we're going to go live, and we're going to be sharing some awesome details about Magic the Gathering Arena. So hop over to our Twitch channel and check that out.
Yeah, I know I will be.
Yeah, I'm definitely heading there actually when we're done.
Awesome. All right, well, hey, thanks so much,
Thanks, everybody.